my name is Alex Richards and welcome to the People Behind the Party, hosted by us here at the Birthday Party Network. Today on our show, I'm joined by Zara, who operates Love Rara in Aberdeen. We'll hear a little bit about mermaid schools, operating a party premises, and what it's like having 14-year-olds working on your team. Well, Zara, welcome to the People Behind the Party.
Thank you.
I'm excited that you're here.
Me too.
So, firstly, it would be great if you just tell us a little bit about what Love Rara is all about.
Yeah, so Love Rara is like a children's entertainment company, but not only that, we do holiday camps, drama classes, we actually have mermaid schools that we do now, and we do a lot of PR work, so events, we have showgirls, so pretty much it's now kind of more like an entertainment service rather than just children's entertainment. So yeah, quite a wide variety of things that we do.
Yeah, it's really cool because we haven't known each other really at all. We've known of you, and you've kind of known of stuff that's been going on down here for a wee while. But it's cool to kind of get to chat and hear a little bit more about your story and find out about it. So yeah, so how did it all start? Like, were you always in kids entertainment, or you know?
So actually, I was born in New Zealand, and then I moved to Australia when I was 5, and then I moved to Scotland when I was 19. I met my boyfriend, or now husband at the time, over there 3 days. I only knew him. He kept on hounding me to come over, and so he said he lived on a beach with Bert.
Great.
I was like, might as well. I only live life once, so off I went on my plane journey to here, and I've been here ever since. Wow. So I've got 2 children now, and I always kind of had that children environment. Like when I was a little girl, my mum used to say I was like the Pied Piper. Kids used to follow me everywhere, and so I wanted to go into working with children, and mum's like, don't do it, you don't get enough money, like don't do it. So when I moved here, I originally kind of went into the oil industry, and then
doing what?
I was just sales, so really boring stuff like pipes and flanges. And then like I had a quite severe accident that made me change my career. So then I went into, I realized life is too short, so you might as well do something you like rather than earning heaps of money. It'd be good if you could do both.
That would, there must be a way. Some people manage
exactly. And so then I done childcare. So I was a nursery teacher, and I was like the head nursery teacher for the ages 3 to 5. And then I fell pregnant with my daughter. At that time, I contracted like parvovirus, which is like slap cheek. So I wasn't allowed to work around children.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of got signed off, and then it made me think like, what do I want to do after this? Like, do I want to go back and look after children and then someone else look after my child, which doesn't really make sense, because if I could find a job to work around my family, then that would be ideal. So 50 quid in my pocket, I handmade my fairy costume, and I bought a face painting kit and my insurance, and I started face painting.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's my story.
And that's how it all started.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of ballooned from there.
Yeah, I don't know how. I think it's just, I always think of like really random things, and I'm just like, let's just do this. Like when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a mermaid. So I'm like, why can't I be a mermaid?
Yeah.
So, I think I've kind of had that background knowledge of you only live life once, so you might as well go for it. And if it doesn't work, then try something new and try and be unique to you. Because I think that's one of the problems that happens within this industry is like people try and follow each other and be like, oh, that's a really good idea, I might do that. Or that's a good idea, I might do that. Whereas I try not to do that. I try and do what's right for me and what I like to do, and kind of go from there and build it from there and just be you.
Yeah. So started with face painting. So how long ago was that?
So we've been in business now for 6.5 years.
6.5. So just you face painting.
Just me face painting.
Give us like the first snapshot of like the first 6 months, because you know I've done it as well. It's like that chaos where you kind of go like, right, I'm going to start, and then you sit at your computer and you're like, so what am I going to do? So
I was lucky enough because I'd already worked with children. I kind of had a lot of children already within my environment. Quite often people knew I was creative. When I worked as a nursery teacher, I used to face paint sometimes. So they'll be like, hey, I've got a birthday coming up. Can you come face paint? And I'm like, yes, well, actually, I've started a business doing that. So I'd love to come and face paint. And it kind of just grew from there. And then like my first employee I took on was like 2 young girls, and they used to come as fairies and then help me because they started doing the games and activities whilst I was doing them. And then it evolved into the princesses. So I used to play one of the princesses, but I'm far too old to play a princess now. I've passed my baton on. I'm a queen now, not a princess. Yeah. So yeah, it kind of just keeps evolving. And now we have 37 employees. We have a premises at the Beach Leisure Centre, and we're doing weekday stuff, not only weekend stuff. So it's fantastic to see how it's grown and evolved. And it's been a lot of hard work. And I think people look at you and think, they must be loaded. Like, look how much money they're paying for that party. But there is so much that goes into the party, from the booking process, for the follow-up phone calls, your insurances, your public liability insurances, your like employee insurance, you know, so your stock, like face paints aren't cheap. So a lot of people think they're like, oh yeah, I'll just get a Snazaroo.
Pound store,
yeah. We don't do that. We do high quality face paints.
Yeah.
So, because anyone could buy Snazaroo stuff from the shop, or I'm not bashing Snazaroo. I like Snazaroo. But yeah, anyone could do that. So we always kind of want to make sure that we're putting in a service that not everyone could do. So there's a lot of time and energy and research and a lot of fails before you can kind of succeed. And I think people forget that. So they look at me and they think I'm rich, I think, but I totally invest everything back into my company. And I think this shows because we do a lot of charity work, and you can kind of see that our energy kind of goes back into the children and back into the community, which is fantastic. So
you mentioned your fails. So is there any like one that stands out, or a few where you're like, whoa, that was like a real crazy mistake? Yeah,
so there's a couple of times I probably have nearly lost the company with probably excessive spending, thinking I need new costumes straight away, but really I should have budgeted and waited, and you don't need things straight away. There's no point of trying to keep up with the Joneses as such. You don't have to keep evolving. If someone asks for something, you don't have to quickly go out and get that costume. You can say, unfortunately, we don't do that character at the time. We can do this, you know, and they might not use you, but probably 9 times out of 10, they'll come back a week later and say, actually, can we use you? You know, so I think that was probably a really good learning point for me. And then another one was I did do a lot of charity work, and maybe too much charity work. I invested a lot of my time and energy, and I don't regret it. But it was one point where I thought there was no money coming in because I was putting all my energy on this one specific charity event, that it kind of consumed my life, and I nearly lost my business. So yeah, but I would never change it, because the thing that we did was a little girl's wedding. It was part of her bucket list, and crazy. I would never change it because she has passed, and I'm so glad we achieved that for her. But maybe next time I would try and balance and not be completely consumed by the product and what we were trying to provide for her. So
it is an interesting balance, because there's an element of where you think, well, if we do loads of charity work, we'll get lots of promotion, people see who we are, and that might encourage others to come and get involved.
I didn't know that, right? So everyone says to me, oh, you get, like, everyone says about charity, it makes promotion. It doesn't. Like, the whole point of doing charity work is promotion for the charity. Like, they're not going to mention your names. Like, you just have to do it because you want to do it. Like, I think people get really confused with that. They think, oh, if I do this charity event, like, heaps of people are going to see me, but they don't. They just see a character. They don't know it's Love Rara, and they don't know we've provided probably the whole event for them. Like, we don't get recognition because it's not about us, it's about the charity. And I think I only came to realize that maybe a year ago, when I nearly lost my company. And I realized, like, it's amazing supporting charities, and we do offer discounts now to charities, but we also need to, like, look after ourselves. Otherwise we can't do that for the charities anymore. So I find if I'm donating stuff, it's normally hospital visits. I'll go and visit the children in a hospital. You're not going to get recognized for that either, because a lot of the time the families don't want you to take photos, because obviously it is an emotional setting. So if you're doing charity work and you're doing it to get promotion and get more gigs and do publicity, you're definitely heading in the wrong direction. You need to do charity because you want to see improvements within that charity. That's what I would recommend.
Yeah. So you spoke about having like a large, you got about 37, do you, kind of on the books?
Yeah.
So is there, can you break that down? Is there like full-time in the office? Is there full-time staff out in the ad hoc, or how do you build that system up?
Yeah, so I have a part-time administrator who helps me, and then I found it quite hard to find someone to help me in the office because that outlay of money, I'm thinking it's really hard because you have to train them first, and are they going to bring the bookings in? So for me, financially, I've only actually managed to find, I've got 3 girls in the office now, all part-time girls, and I've only financially been able to do that now.
Yeah.
I've been doing everything else myself for the last 5 years. So it's hard. And I think people forget that you are in the office by yourself. So if you don't reply to them in 48 hours, they're like, why are you not replying to me? And it's like, I do have lots of messages.
I'm trying to organise a lot of parties.
I want to make sure I'm putting the energy in the correct places and making sure you get the like 5-star service. Please just give me 48 hours. Please. So yeah, it's only now that I can afford to justify having those people in. And what I've realised by having those people in, it is creating more opportunities for me. For instance, I get to come here and do podcasts and, you know, I get to go and probably enjoy the events more and not panic about them because I know that I have that support from these older staff members who can kind of help me within the office, because our age range is probably from, we have 14-year-old actresses right to probably 22, so that's normally our princess entertainer sides. If they're under the age of 16, you do have to have a work permit, so you have to apply that through your local schools or councils and stuff.
So can you talk a little bit about that, because that's probably, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, so it's because they're actors and actresses. So you have to create an environment that's safe for children to work in. So, for instance, our parties normally are 2-hour parties, and that's the most they work within a party, so they can do 1 party a weekend. It's fantastic because it's great work experience for them, but then also they can earn money. We're finding that children are maturing quite a lot now. By the age of 14, they're wanting their own job and they're wanting money, so we pay them the same as what a 16-year-old would get paid, and they can come in and do the work and have a job. So it's fantastic for us because we're kind of like creating the new Love Rara team at a really young age. So we've had some of our 14-year-olds who are now 18 who are still on the team. So it's great. It's lovely to see them blossom.
That's amazing, because you get to track them all the way through, and
definitely
they're sold on the Love Rara dream. And then, you know, they just,
it's just the confidence. When they first arrive, they're just young and a bit naive and don't even know how to mop floors sometimes, which I find really strange. But yeah, it's lovely now because like they're mature and they take lead and they help support other staff members, and it's a family. Like we help one another and we develop each other, and we're there to fix each other's tiaras and such, you know. So it's fantastic.
What's it like juggling such a large pool of millennial? Well, they're not even millennials. What's the next one? Generation
I'm too old to kind of know that.
But, you know, because it is an interesting balance. Like we have a lot of problems because a lot of our guys are younger. Driving vehicles, because all of our events are you have to drive to get to, and we have problems with getting insurance on our vehicles. We have vans and trucks and things like that. So you know, do you want to talk a little bit about what it's like to have a really young team and what managing you know that looks like?
So for me, it's hard because like the really young ones, say the 14-year-olds, I call them like my newbies because
that's young. 14
that is young. Yeah. But there is a specific child. So we tend to maybe take on 2 or 3 14-year-olds at a time. I don't saturate my team with the young ones. And they are kind of like always put on with someone who's been on the team for maybe 3-4 years who can kind of help support them. And we just kind of like nurture and nourish who they are and help them develop like their unique kind of personality, because especially at 14 you don't know who you are. I didn't even know who I was until I was probably 22. You know, so I think the environment that we have, because the team are so dedicated and passionate to the brand and what we create and what we do, I think if you lead by example, then they are going to follow. Like I'm a grafter, so I'm passionate I actually like children. Like, if you don't like children, do not get into this industry. I've seen other suppliers before yelling at children, like, it's not the job for you if you don't like children. So you just have to show like the confidence and the passion and the dedication, and it just starts rubbing off on people like an infection, really. Yeah. That's what I find.
Yeah. We had the same. We took on a few interns last year, 2 years ago, from Edinburgh Uni. Really, really great, switched on, smart guys, but just didn't like working with kids. And a lot of what they were doing was in the office, so it didn't matter too much, but you could just tell. You know, there just wasn't that enthusiasm behind, like, we're going to create something really, really sweet that kids are going to love. Yeah. It was more like, well, this is cool, but... Yeah. Like, it's an interesting balance, isn't it?
I think that's why I'm so lucky with the team, because we have mums within our team, and then we have young kids who are like, call me mum, you know. So I think it's great because it brings so many different layers to what we are, and it's great to have so many different perspectives of what they think it is. But obviously you do need to train young children, like they are kids, and you just need to like help them and support them. And I think by having like so many different people within the team, it's great because they all kind of create a different kind of atmosphere. So I'm a strong believer in that. Like everyone takes the mickey out of me at work because I always say, like, we have like a tree and everyone brings their seed, and it's like a different uniqueness that they bring. And someone loves sports and might like extreme sports and action and stuff, whereas another person's obsessed with princesses, which is fantastic because once we put it all together, we make the most amazing tree, and it's so different and unique and crazy. So our company's constantly evolving with who comes in the team. So there's no wrong or right way. You have to evolve with your company, and if you don't like change, then probably kids isn't good for you either.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Some crazy things can happen at a party.
Exactly. I know. You need to be able to change and grow and develop, and that's just what we constantly do. So, yeah.
Have any of your team come in and then said, I've got this idea, like, I'd love to do it?
All the time.
Okay.
Yeah, and we do it.
Yeah.
Like, why not? So we'll try it. If it doesn't work, then we remove it. You know. So, but we try it on each other. So we'll do like training sessions and stuff. You'll notice like on our Instagrams and stuff, we're kind of like, we go out together, we do training together, we'll have like crazy parties and stuff like that where we do team building. We're hoping to go to one of the trampoline places next to us, so we're going to do one of those one nights. So it's all kind of growing your team and knowing that they're there for you. But yeah, I love their ideas, and I love that they bring the creativity, and I would never want to dampen that, because that's our whole reason of being. We want to be a creative company. We want to allow people to bring ideas and uniqueness. And it's like, we've got some students who are completely geeky, who love Comic-Con, and I love geeks. They're my faves. And then we've got girls who are prim and proper princesses, you know, superheroes. We've got fairies, you know, everyone is unique, and that's what Love Rara is so good, because we just bring all this uniqueness together and make this amazing Love Rara kind of atmosphere. It's great.
What's it been like kind of diversifying then? Because obviously you started doing face painting, and then it's like, right, well, now I'll do this. And as you say, you have mermaid parties and showgirls. And, you know, was there any kind of strategy, or was it sort of like, that
sporadic?
Could be cool.
I'm quite sporadic. I think it's just stuff that I love and stuff that I want to bring. Like, I'm all about energy and creating an environment. And so for me, originally it started with us just doing pool parties and having a mermaid in the pool. And then kids would turn up and they would have their fins, and half of them can't even swim, so I don't know why they brought a fin with them, you know. And the mum's like, can they wear that in the pool? I'm like, no, your child can't swim, so they're not going to put a fin on and drown. You know. So that kind of made me think, like, well, why can they not? Like, why can I not become a swimming instructor, which I did? Why can I not do my Naraz attack, which is like a life-saving through teaching? Why can't I train them? And I did. Like, so I feel like there's so many barriers put up within society, and it's like, well, let's break them down. Let's be fairies or mermaids or pirates and just have fun. Like, stop judging everybody else and just do you. Like, be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I've been watching your Instagram, and it is interesting to see kind of there is such a wide variety from your mermaids to your kids' parties, like showgirls and kind of PR stuff. Was that how did that come about?
That kind of came about. I actually used to do PR work in Australia, so I used to be one of those dancers, like the bongo dancers and stuff like that. So it was good fun. I was young. I thought, why not? So when I came here, it actually all happened when I went to Ibiza. I went to Ibiza and I was like, this is amazing. It's so bright and colourful and energetic. Like, why do we not have this in Aberdeen?
Yeah.
And so I just started pushing these ideas around, like our glitter bar. We were one of the first people in Aberdeen to do glitter bar. Everyone calls it glitter bar, and I actually just made that word up. So I love that. So what it is just obviously festival face paint with glitter all over you, glitter in the hair. So yeah, you pretty much just turn into a glitter bomb. So yeah, I just thought, why are we not doing what all these other countries are doing and having a fun environment and creating an atmosphere? We done Enjoy Music Festival, which you guys were at. So these doors just started opening, and I was like, yeah, I can do that. Like, why are we not doing that? We're entertainers. We can do that. So, yeah. And one of the main goals for me, the constant evolutions and the constant changing, was to create more work for my staff. So the drama classes and the mermaid classes are creating stable weekly income for my staff members. So therefore I can keep them longer.
Yes.
We've got the weekend work, which is the entertainment work. We've sometimes got evening work, which is like normally the showgirls and stuff. And then we've got our holiday activity clubs that we do now, which is during the holidays, and I love them. They're like my fave. So it's creating stable work for all these actors and actresses who are studying at college and university, who can't work full time, but they can work after school or college or uni, you know, they can work evenings, you know, so it's kind of creating work for them so I can keep them longer. That's kind of why I started doing so much more.
So much variety.
Yeah.
I think, because again, we're the same. We have, when we were kind of working out what our plan was at Activity Delivered, to say, are we going to diversify into other things other than just birthday parties? One of the main reasons was staffing.
Yeah.
You know, if you're only running birthday parties at weekends, that person can only do 2 8-hour shifts, or maybe a Friday evening, and you just can't keep good quality staff on just 8 hours a week.
Exactly.
You know, it's really, really difficult.
Yeah, exactly.
So to have that variety of weekend staff, holidays, you know, it allows you to kind of open that up a little bit.
And I think that's the good thing as well. We find a lot of our staff will go away. Like, so we've got people in London in musicals at the moment. We've got people on cruise ships and stuff. So we find that people go away. So we have actually a cover page. So it's all the people who have worked within the team, who are still part of the family, and they can come back in the summer holidays and pick up shifts. They're still on our payroll and stuff, so they can pick up shifts as well. So there's over like 88 staff in that group, and they've all been trained by me. So I know the quality's there. They can come and pick up shifts, and they can help us out. So then I'm not hiring too many people as well, because sometimes on a weekend we could have up to maybe needing 42 different staff out. So if you don't have that, at least now I can pull from my cover page as well.
You've got those. Is every party manned with 2 people?
So we actually have 3 people in our parties.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So we have a face painter normally, and then we have 2 people who host the games.
Okay.
So this is probably why I'm not rich, because I think of quality, because everyone says quality over quantity kind of thing. But for me, because our staff are young, I want them to have that support. I would never want them to feel overwhelmed within a setting. So by having 2 of them running their games and activities, because it is an entertainment show, they've got each other to support one another. So for me, I just find that's the best. Whereas I used to do face painting games and activities all by myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's probably why people come to us as well, because we've got like a bit of a higher standard, so we won't ever overrun our parties. So we always recommend 20 to 25 children at our parties. Because if you're getting like 80 kids to come to a birthday party, number one, who whose child has 80 kids, friends? I've been to parties before and the kids turn up and they hand me the present because they don't know who the birthday child is.
Yeah.
Why are they invited to your child's party? So, if someone wanted 80 children at a party, then I would recommend adding on more staff, adding on more characters so they're getting more engagement. That's what we're all about, is getting the engagement, getting the one-to-one interaction. And I think that's why people come and back to us and return to us, because we provide that service. It's not a money-making scheme. It's more a service. Yeah.
It was when I was looking a little bit more into the Aberdeen birthday party scene, there's quite a lot of companies in Aberdeen. I was surprised to see how many companies in Aberdeen, considering it's not a massive city.
Yeah. So originally, myself and one other company was running, and that's it. So it was just the two of us. So I was lucky enough that I got in the market when there was no one else there. And now there is probably about 8 other companies that do what we do. So I think that's the thing, is a lot of business owners could get caught up in that. So they're copying my ideas. Oh my goodness, how are we going to survive? But for what I would say is, they can steal your ideas, but they can't steal your mind or your passion or your dedication. So just keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry about everybody else around you, and you'll succeed. That's the only way I've managed to get where I am now, is because I don't let other people affect this. And it's strange because I think your friends think they're helping you out, and they'll screenshot something and be like, hey,
I know.
They're doing exactly the same as what you just done. Does this post not look exactly what you just done last week? And I'm like, please just stop sending me that. I'm concentrating on me. I don't need to worry about what they're doing. And I think that's it's flattering that they're copying us, which it shows that what we're doing is great, you know. So I just think you just need to worry about what you're doing, because you are putting too much energy onto other companies if you're worrying about what they're doing. Yeah,
that's funny. It's so great just to talk to others, because I'm the same. You know, my mum will screenshot something and be like, hey, have you seen this? I'm like, Mum, I'm trying to run. I don't need you just to show me everyone else who's doing it as well.
Exactly. I know. And I think they know, bless them. They obviously just look at the post and think, hey, that seems very similar. And they're trying to help you out. But you can get overwhelmed by that. And if you're getting that constantly, it's not the right energy you're getting. Because for me, I like to spend time on researching, thinking of new ideas, maybe doing brainstorming with my team members and stuff, rather than scrolling and looking at what everyone else is doing, because you're not unique then. If you're copying someone else, you're not unique. And I think as well, be a magpie. So copy to an extent, but create your own style and spin on it. I absolutely hate companies who go and steal wording for wording and exactly the same things, and then have the audacity to contact your staff and try and poach them. That's just not on.
No.
Look after what you're doing. If you want to copy our ideas, fantastic, but make them your own. You don't have to. Your unicorn princess doesn't need to look like our unicorn princess, you know. It'd be cool if there's different ones, because people have options, you know. So that's probably where I'm at. I feel just concentrate on what you're doing, and you kind of you start loving it. I feel like I got a bit resentful maybe in my 4th year, because I was like, I work so hard and everyone's copying me, and why are they copying me? And you can kind of get yourself into this mindset. Whereas now I'm just doing me and I'm loving it. It's great.
I think the birthday party industry is an interesting one, because, you know, kids will have a party, maybe not every year, but most years as they grow up between age 5 and 11. That's probably about the age group you're interested in as well. And when birthday party companies copy each other, it's good to have variety, and it's better for things to be changed, because next year, maybe they want another princess to come. They probably don't want the exact same princess.
Exactly.
So although it's great to see and copy other companies, and it's intriguing to see what creativity can come from that, it can also be great for the industry to actually grow and allow for more ideas and options to be available.
I think it's healthy to have competition, and I think if you didn't have competition, you wouldn't push yourself further. So I think it's really good to have that competition. But I totally agree. Like, although we have had some parents who have come back and booked the same princess 3 years in a row, you know. So, but most of the time people want variety, and I think you can't get disheartened if they use another company. So we find quite often we'll get children at the age of 3 who'll come to our company, and they'll use us right up until the age of 5. And then they might go and try something different, a different company or a different thing, and you might look at them and be like, hey, why are you not using us again? But they need to go try other companies to realize, oh my God, they're the best, and come back to us, you know? So, and that happens all the time. That's kind of why we've evolved our packages with like our pop parties that we do and silent discos now and stuff as well, because we're finding those children who have been with us for so long have gone away for a couple of years or a year, and they're all back again. So, I think that's like the competition within any industry should always remain healthy, but I think you just need to concentrate on you and not what other people are doing.
Has it's been interesting to see how you now have a venue.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of birthday party companies, I spoke, last week with David a little bit about his idea of having a venue and things like that. Why did you decide? What was the thought process, and kind of what are the pros of it and cons even?
Yeah, so I think people don't realize, like, when I started my company, obviously it was my house. So it was in my bedroom upstairs, and then we went to like 10 staff, and I still had my interviews and stuff in my bedroom upstairs. Really? So this is just how it was. It was like a family run business, and that's how it was. And I always remained to be professional, but when you're going into someone's house and there's dogs and kids, it can be a bit weird. So then we built like a little hut in our garden, and we started using that. So then it got up to, I think, around 20 something staff, and we're constantly using that, and it was great. We'd done that for a fair bit of time, and then I had the opportunity of having a premises within Sport Aberdeen. So I'm really lucky that kind of fell in my feet. So that was my dream. And the reason for that was to create boundaries. I was becoming consumed by my company. I can go to work now, enjoy my job, have the best time ever, and then I can leave and step away. And I give myself boundaries. I don't look at my Facebook 24/7. I used to. When I first started my company, I had a lady who called me at 1 a.m. to book a party. I was like, is it for this weekend? Are you okay? Like, are you okay? Like, my home phone calling me. She didn't realize it's a home phone. It was my business number. At 1 a.m. in the morning. And I was like, oh, sorry, is it this weekend? Like, are you panicking? Her birthday was 2 months away. So I think, like, I love the fact that now I have freedom to concentrate on my business when I'm there, and then go home and spend time with my family, because it is hard juggling a 7-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a husband, and 2 dogs, and all the staff, and having to do everything myself. So having a premises was I always dreamed that I was going to have Love Rara land as such. So for me, it kind of works, because I have a place now where I can do all my mermaid classes, my pool parties. We do Ibiza pool parties. They're amazing.
I saw pictures.
Oh my God, it's so good. And then, we're really lucky because we bring so many people to their community centre. But then also we have the footfall of the community centre as well. It's very central. I have a storage room. I have a costume room. I actually have an office. Like, it's lovely, because before it was all like kind of all around you. So now I have clear boundaries, and my staff kind of respect that now as well, because quite often you'll find that they'll message you all the time, because we are a family, and I'm there always to support them. But now we have like boundaries, and they know if I have a day off, I have a day off. So it's lovely.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Have you found that the office has created a space that allows you to kind of manage better in a sense? Because obviously, it's been going 6.5 years. You've got people in the office. How much of in the business are you still doing as opposed to working on the business?
So I feel like you'll never stop working on the business. Especially with children entertainment, because it's always evolving. Like, there's always new themes and trends, and so I feel like you always have to evolve. But for me, I've only been in my premises for 6 months. So it's relatively new. But for me, I'm kind of feeling now it's more professional, and people kind of look at me more as a professional company. I'm not just a clown as such, because whenever people think of children's entertainment, they always think clowns.
Yeah.
So it's really nice for people to identify, like, we are an award-winning business. We have won over 9 awards, you know. We have a beautiful setting now, so it's great. We still go and travel and do parties and events, but it's just lovely now that we can kind of utilize our space and maybe do more things than we did before. We did the activity clubs and stuff. We don't have to move everything. We can just keep it all in the one venue. So it's great as well, because then I can be in my office and concentrate on my emails and my paperwork and stuff whilst activities are still happening. Whereas before I didn't have that luxury. I was just there and I would be a part of the chaos. Activities and stuff. Yeah. So organized chaos. So yeah, it's lovely because I can go in my office and still keeping up to date. And probably now, because I feel like we've always been busy, but I feel like we're busier now, which is great because I think maybe because we do have that stable place that people are contacting us more, and we have the admin that can answer quickly. Yep. So normally it's 24 hours instead of the 48, you know. So yeah, it's probably created a little bit more stability, and I feel like the staff feel more stable and confident within our setting now as well, which is fantastic. Yeah.
Amazing. So how much are you still running parties yourself?
Yeah.
And so, do you kind of set a boundary on that? Are you like, you know, or do you do it because you love it? Or
I do it because I love it.
Yeah.
Like,
you just can't help yourself.
I can't help myself. I've created like I've hired another mermaid trainer. Okay. Just so, because I was working like nearly every evening just with drama classes, mermaids and stuff. Yeah, mermaid trainer. Yeah. I actually done that one time. I put fairy, you know, when you go through customs and it asks your job title, and I wrote fairy, but I got pulled aside in customs, so I don't recommend doing that ever again. But yeah, it's great because, well, I create these jobs for these people, and then I find I'm still there, and I'm like, Zara, stop. Yeah. But it's just because I love it. Yeah. Like, I just love seeing the kids' faces, and when they achieve something, it's just amazing. You know, you are sucking that energy out of the children, and I love it. That's what makes me feel young, you know, so I love it. But yeah, I definitely have tried to start putting time aside for family, but I think as well, it's trying to recognize, because you always feel busy, but it's trying to recognize your times of busyness. So for instance, me right now is like probably one of my busiest periods, because all the students have now left, or if they've finished their college or university, they've gone back to where they've come from, or they've got these amazing kind of contracts on ships and stuff like that. So I find this is where I lose a lot of my staff members. So I then have to train new people. So I've just taken on 12 new people. Wow. Which is a lot. Yeah. But I had my other team for like a good solid couple of years, you know, 2-3 years. So this is like the point where I have to put that energy back into the company, train the staff, get them prepared, because our busy season is coming, which is Christmas. Okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, September is always my kind of changing time. So I have to be available for those times. And then once I've trained them, I can kind of step back again, you know, so.
Yeah, is Christmas busy because of elves and
singing elves and Santa and all the Christmas kids parties, and yeah, we do our own events and stuff like that as well. Markets, fairs. Yeah, Christmas is amazing. Yep. So we even hire staff sometimes just to help other companies because they are so busy. So for instance, we help out like at the ice hockey sometimes. We'll help people show where their seats are or help clean and stuff. So it's just creating work. So it is more lots of random jobs, but it's fantastic. Yeah. I want to talk a wee bit about do you call it the Big Summer Blowout? Is that what it's called? So what, it's like a showcase or what? Yeah, so it kind of started, I wanted to create something, it's so random, but I wanted to create something where all my team could meet, which sounds so strange.
No, I get you though.
Because our job is like, you're in a company with 30 something people, but you might not see each other all the time because you're working so many different events. So we've done the Big Summer Blowout more for our staffing benefits, so they could meet each other. And it's a fantastic show that I wrote myself. Well, last year I wrote it myself, but the previous year I had one of my staff members help me. So it pretty much is just showcasing what we do. So we have like our princesses singing, we have interactive games, we do our superheroes, unicorn princess, like every pretty much person we have. So my staff actually book their holidays around the big summer blowout because it's just so much fun. So and then every year I just kept doing it. And I was like, oh, God, it's so much work. Am I going to do it again? And I just can't help myself. And I just keep doing it every year. But yeah, it's pretty much now we call it like our showcase. So it showcases all the different kind of characters and activities. And we find that quite often when people come to the Big Summer Blowout, they find out so much information like about our drama classes and holiday camps that they didn't know that we do. They also tend to find an actress or actor that their child absolutely loves and they'll book that person for their child's birthday. So it's like a win-win.
Yeah.
That it is a lot of work. We have rehearsals. We have a sound engineer guy that we need to work alongside, the beach ballroom that we use. We have over 900 people who attend the event, so ticketing and stuff. I used to handwrite all my tickets, but now I use Eventbrite. People do complain about the fees, but I'm like, it's honestly the time that I spent handwriting, and you miss someone and it just creates disaster. This totally streamlined us, and we use Eventbrite, and I love it. We've actually won an award for our show before.
Okay.
So it was like event of the year, which I was totally blown away because we were up against some amazing things that happen within Aberdeen and we won that award. So super chuffed with that. But yeah, it's definitely showcases what we do and I love it. And I love it because I get to speak to the parents and connect with them more. Yeah. I think I'm quite good at selling myself. So I feel like people want to buy into Love Rara because they want to buy into my team and me, which is fantastic.
Yeah. So you've won, you said 9 awards earlier.
I think so.
9.
I think I'm a bit more than that, but that's so bad.
So how does that, what do awards look like within the birthday party industry?
Yeah, so we have won Entertainer of the Year before.
Who do you win them from?
So there was Raring to Go. We've won through them. So they provide a magazine within, I think, Britain. There's different people in different areas. So we've won last year. We won like, I think it was 5 awards, and we were nominated for these. So I didn't get awards because there was a few awards that had contacted me who asked me to pay to be a part of their award. And I'm like, why would I pay to have an award? I could just buy my own award, So I didn't really get it. And then people started nominating us for awards. And Raring to Go was a fantastic one because it's a free award, so you don't pay to enter. It's run by the community and the public. They nominate you, they vote for you, and I think that's probably the most fair awards ever. So we won them, which was fantastic. There's another few awards that we've been nominated for. What's on 4 awards, which is a UK one as well. We went to London next. We made the top 3 for that. Wow. So that was fantastic. It was a great trip to London, but that was a pay award. And the prices started going up and up and up. And I was just like, I can't afford to do that anymore. But it was lovely to do it and network and stuff. So if you're looking to network, if you're not looking to win an award and you just want to go and network and meet like-minded people, I highly recommend to start putting yourself into awards. But for me, I wasn't at that point where I wanted to do that anymore. I kind of just wanted to concentrate on my local community. I didn't feel like I needed an award to prove how awesome we are. So, but yeah, it was lovely. There was another one in Aberdeen, and it was like, I think it was like an Aberdeen award, prestigious awards it was called, and it was just like local, like we were up against those other people who were doing hairdressing, and I think it was just the creative sector. Okay. So we won an award for that as well. But awards are strange, I find. Which maybe I shouldn't say that because maybe we won't get him nominated for any more awards. But yeah, I think if you can get an award and it's free to attend and it's supporting local businesses and you win that award, you are a superstar. That's what I think, like personally.
Yeah. Love it. You spoke a little bit about how the business was, there's been a few times where it's almost not tanked, but got to the point where you're like, oh boy, like I need to kind of turn this ship around. You guys are VAT registered?
Yes.
So was that a very interesting step? Because for us that was like, oh boy, like we're now going to lose, if we don't put our prices up, we're going to lose 20% of everything that comes in.
Yeah, so there was a little bit of a grey area when this happened. My accountant forgot to tell me that
that's
I am now VAT registered. So obviously for me, I hadn't had that time to put my prices up or to change anything. So that was very overwhelming when that kind of happened. We obviously, when we did put our prices up, it's a 20% increase. Yeah. You know, that's a lot. And we did have a lot of parents who weren't happy, who had used us before and weren't happy. But it's law.
Yeah.
I don't choose, like, that money doesn't go in my pocket, you know, and I wish it did, but it doesn't. I'm still like, oh my goodness, when I pay my VAT bill. But I think people, as the company grows, they understand that a little bit more, and they know, like, the overheads are crazy. Like, I haven't put my wage parties up for a while now, but like, minimum wage is rising every single year. So really I need to start looking, okay, I need to put it up by a certain amount to meet my minimum wage costs now. And I think when they see that amount in full to start off with, it blows their mind and they think, how could it cost this much money? Yeah. But if you are purchasing something from a company that is reliable, that has insurances, that pays for their music license, that has staff that actually get paid, because I know there's a lot of other companies who don't pay their staff, you know.
Or pay in cash or...
Exactly, who are doing a bit dodgy. Yeah. Then you can go and use them. But with us, we like are providing a service that you can rely on, that you are going to get the best surfers possible out of it. And I think you can't dilute your product from that. And I could cut my prices if I wanted to, but what's the point? I would be running a company with no wage. I only just started giving myself a wage last year.
That's crazy, eh?
It's so crazy. My husband's like, why are you doing this? Like, go and get a normal job. Get like an actual wage. Go back to work in a nursery. Yeah. And I think people don't realize that. I think people think because I run my own business that I'm rich and that I must be loaded, and look at me, I've got a new premises now that I should be rolling in the money. Premises brings rent, you know? Yeah. So I think people forget that, and it's just trying to realize, like, I'm just a humble person trying to get by, and I do not pay myself a serious wage, which my new accountant doesn't like. She is like, you need to up your wage because this is ridiculous. How do you survive on this?
Like, but I want this new wig.
I know.
I know.
I really want this. And she's like, you do not need another mermaid tail. Like, go and buy some food for your home, you know? So, it's trying to find the balance with that. And I think I'm only just starting to realize that you have to, like, honor yourself. Like, you need money to go on holidays with your children. That kind of upset me for a while, like not be able to afford to go on holidays, and then seeing everybody else on holidays and stuff, and you think, oh, I wish I didn't give that discount to that person. Now they're away to Florida for 3 weeks, and why did I do that when I can't even afford to go to Spain, you know? So I think it's just trying to realize your self-worth and who you are, and people I don't go to other people's businesses and ask for discounts. I don't go to Asda and say, hey, can I pay like £1 for that milk if I pay in cash? You know, it just doesn't work like that. So we are a company, and I think people need to remember that sometimes. Yeah.
No, it's fascinating again, just to hear more about, you know, what it is actually like to be the business owner and ultimately responsible for the show. And, you know, if money's tight, then it's you not getting paid. It's not your staff. Like, they have to be paid. It's us that takes the hit. Yeah. And I think people, you know,
they do forget it.
Yeah. But then you have the pros of getting to do what you want, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the thing, is like, if I want to now, if I want to go and watch my child at sports day, I can, you know. If I want to come down here and do a podcast, I can, you know, like, it's great because there's pros and cons to every company and what you do and stuff, and it's just trying to find the balance. And I'm not there yet, you know, like, I think everyone's still kind of heads in that. I think if you're rich, even, you're still thinking you're never there. Yeah. So as long as I can pay for my basics, then maybe next year I might put myself on a holiday or something.
Amazing. So one question we always ask everyone is, as a kid, what was your most memorable birthday party?
So my mum is the most extreme person ever, and I think this is where I get it from.
Okay.
So my mum actually told me not to run my company. She told me not to start Love Rara. And then every time she posts it, she's like, see, don't listen to your mum, but you should listen to your mum, but just not all the time. So she created it was like a under the sea party for me in my garage, and she had like seaweed hanging from the roof. And I don't know if you get it over here. We call it like fairy bread, but it's like butter with sprinkles on it. No? It must be an Australian thing, like, but she had made like all these cute little underwater food, and there was like, she'd made cushions, and she's like super creative. And that was probably one of my best ones, because even though it was a garage, we walked in and it was like an underwater cave. It was amazing. So I think imagination is a huge part of parties, and that's where what we do, Love Rara does, is about imagination and creativity. So my mum, even though she told me not to do this company, she probably is a huge inspiration of why I do all of my things. My mum's obsessed with Halloween. She's already started decorating.
I was born on Halloween.
Nice.
So I have like this always toss up between, is it my birthday or is it Halloween?
You can have both.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she's like already started decorating her house. She starts in August. Like she digs graves in her garden and makes all the props. And she's like, we were FaceTiming each other the other day, and I was teaching her how to make slime because she's rubbish at it. And she's giving out slime to the kids. Like, she's just so generous. And I think like that creative and the generosity, and I kind of definitely get that from my mum. And we're sometimes good together, but other times we're too similar. So, but yeah, she's extreme with kind of prop building and decorating and design, and like, I love that, and I think that's a great thing to have, and that's what I'm trying to keep within my family, and making sure that people within Aberdeen or even Scotland kind of keep that creative kind of elements and imagination play. Yeah.
So what's the future for Love Rara? Where in the next 5 years, what's going to happen?
Everyone asks me this question, and like, my 5-year plan was to get a premises, and now that I've got a premises, like, for me, I feel so unbelievable settled at the moment. Like, I just don't feel like I need to push any further in the fact of creating new things. I just feel like I need to enhance what I've got. And it's really hard to make that mind to do that, because you want to continually evolve, but I want to evolve what I've already got. I need to just concentrate on what I've got, enhance the stuff that I have, the costumes that I have, and yeah, I'm quite happy. Everyone speaks about franchising, but yeah, I don't know if I could do that, because I feel like I'm giving a little bit of my soul away. So who knows, in 5 years that might change. Yeah. But I've had some of my friends in Australia who were like, can we bring Love Rara here? And Glasgow and Edinburgh and stuff like that. People have all moved down here because of colleges and universities, or they've come back home. They're like, oh, can we bring Love Rara? And I'm like, I'm not there yet. So I don't know if that will ever happen, but I love my little bubble, and I love what kind of we create. So yeah, I'm pretty sorted. That sounds so up myself. Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, I'm sorted. Like,
if you're happy,
yeah, I love my community. Like, we've created a mermaid community, so we've got 48 of us at the moment. So growing my mermaid community, and growing the Rainbow Love Rara community, and we have little ambassadors. So it's just like, it's lovely. I feel like what we've created and what we've achieved so far, yeah, it's just enhancing what we've got now. Yeah.
Zara, thank you so much for coming to hang out and
Thanks
chat.
for having me.
Hope you've enjoyed it, and yeah, I look forward to seeing what's going to be happening with Love Rara in the future.
Cool. Thanks. Bye.
Well, that's all for today's episode of The People Behind the Party. Thanks for listening, and thank you to Zara for joining me today to share more about her plans to build and perfect her incredible company up in Aberdeen. Join us again soon, as we'll be meeting another person behind the party and finding out all about their business too. If you haven't checked out the Birthday Party Network yet, then I'd encourage you to head on over, where you can find a place jam-packed with loads of help for you to grow your own birthday party business. Speak soon.